Hello, everyone. Yossi Kaplan here, your friendly Toronto realtor in now Costa Rica. And today I'm with Greg. Greg is ex neighbor from just down the street. And Greg made the move to Costa Rica. So I wanted to ask Greg a little bit about his experience as a Canadian, Ontario, and Torontonian to move and his trials and tribulations. Hello, Greg.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, hello
Great.
everybody.
Good to hear from you.
Hey.
Okay, first question. How's the weather?
It's hot, but it's great. It's hot, but it's windy. And because it's windy, it's actually I love it. I love it when it's windy this time of year. It's when it's not windy, it's really hot and it's kind of unbearable. But right now it's windy, so I love it. It's great, and it's dry. So it's gonna be slightly dangerous when people start burning their garbage and things. Like
Right.
you'll see smoke and you might see some forest fires and things. So gotta be careful.
And Costa
But
Rica
yeah.
has a dry season and wet season, right?
hmm
What
Yeah,
are we
dry
now?
season starts. We're on. This is what's the date today? Today's February 19th or something. February 21st. I don't know what it is. Um,
21st. So
but
sorry, I'm gonna turn that phone off. Apologies.
oh, okay. So yeah, we got two seasons. We don't have summer and winter. There's dry and wet, and we're currently in the dry season, February 20th,
Nice.
and it'll.
Good.
Yeah, I was just saying it'll be dry until probably July. I think maybe
Right.
it probably won't rain at all until July. At least where I am. I'm in the west coast by Tamarindo area, along
Yes.
about 1 mile from the ocean. So
All
I'm
right.
like
So
90 meters above sea level.
I'm gonna
And
share. I have a map here. Let me share it. Let's see. Okay. So, Greg, tell me a bit about Guanacaste and the area, and then I'm gonna ask you like how you got there and all that.
well, the history I can't. I'm really not a history buff. I can't tell you much about it. But I think Guanacaste used to be part of Nicaragua,
Uh-huh.
and it was appended to Costa Rica X number of years ago. I don't really. I have no idea when, but Guanacaste has a reputation of being kind of bad for cars. The roads are not the best here. The roads are the better. The roads are fairly dirt. You're looking at Highway 160 right now on the map. That
Uh-huh.
road is. It used to be 100% dirt, all the way from Santa Cruz. No, there's a town called Rio Seco actually, all the way down to like almost Nosara and Nicoya and all that. Now they're paving it. They're slowly paving it, and it's turning out really good. So but yeah, Guanacaste is pretty good. It's a lot of tourist areas here. We're not far. We have the Liberia airport, so
Uh-huh.
that's good.
I'll give you a call.
There seems like I think there's only two international airports. There might be a new one opening up in Limon on the west, on the other coast, on the Gulf Coast. I'm not
What
sure.
made you choose Playa Lagarto? Maybe I should say Playa Lagarto is a larger development, a few hundred acres, and
Yeah,
people can buy a larger lot or a smaller lot and build their own homes on it.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, give me a couple of minutes. I'll explain
Yeah,
why. Okay.
take your
So
time.
I knew I wanted to live in this part of the world. Okay, this part of the central world. I didn't know my geography was not great at the time, but I went to Flight Center and I booked a stop in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and then took a bus to Mexico City, and then saw Cancun and Cozumel and Belize and Panama and Quito, Ecuador. And during all that 3 week trip, I explored really, and I met a real estate agent from Canada who said, "Oh, you got to check out Costa Rica. It's got the best infrastructure and all that stuff." And she wasn't even in Costa Rica at the time, but she
Right.
said, "Yeah, you got to check it out." And when I got back home to Toronto, I started posting on Facebook pictures of my trip, and Facebook's search algorithm is really good because it starts looking at my posts and saying, "Oh,
Right.
this guy went to all these countries. Let's start bombarding him with ads about real estate and stuff."
It's
So I get
happening
this
to me
ad.
now.
I know, I know. I get this ad from Recap in Toronto, and they have this development in Costa Rica, and it turns out their office was just like 5 blocks or 6 blocks or two subway stops or whatever away from where I was working. So I stopped by and I took a look, and they didn't really have a pushy sales team, but they showed me their stuff, and they said if I go down and I buy something, they will reimburse me for my travel costs,
Right.
and they'll take Canadian money instead of American money at the same at par, right? So I thought, oh, all right, that sounds like a free trip. So I think I'll do that. So I did. I did, and I went down not intending to buy anything, but I kind of got tired of looking, so I ended up buying something. I ended up buying an acre and a half. And, it's not the best acre and a half they had, but it's got an ocean view, and it's got a flat spot to build a house on it, and surrounded by other Canadians who speak English, and the roads were not too bad, and it was not too far from the airport. And I didn't really do a whole lot of research, but I basically just got tired of looking, and I plopped down something. I always figured, yeah, I'll probably sell it if I don't like it. So I spent about 6 or 7 or 9 months paying for what I bought, and then I flew down again to look for a builder to build something. And I found a guy. I don't even remember how I found him, but I found a guy who he grew up in Costa Rica, moved to New Jersey when he was younger, learned how to build houses for 20 years in New Jersey, came back to Costa Rica and started a company making houses to American standards,
Right.
to American quality, to what we would expect, like
Yep.
not Tico, not local houses, but quote
All kind
normal
of house.
houses that,
Yeah.
yeah, normal houses, normal looking houses. And I picked him somehow. And I didn't even check his references, but he spoke English, and he took me to lunch, and I took him to the property I bought, and he found my water source, and he seemed like a personable guy, and and one thing he really liked was he seemed excited about what I wanted to build, because I had plans for something unique, and he wanted to do something unique and different. So signed a contract, and it was like 40 points, I think, and I think I had to pay him 40% down for him to buy the materials, and then another 30 or 25% when he got to a certain milestone, like when all the walls were up and the place was slightly enclosed. And then I had to do, I think, 15% to kind of finish it, and then another 10% after I did my inspection of the place.
Right.
So getting money to him was hard at that point. But well, it's a wire transfer. I had to spend a whole bunch. I had to send a whole bunch of documents where I got the money from and all that
Right.
nonsense. And he had a hard time getting it. The bank was holding it, so it only arrived at the bank in 2 days. But he didn't get the money for about 2 months because he had to prove that it's uh, it's legitimate. There's a lot of banking rules here.
Greg,
It's been
thank you.
difficult.
Who does now? You have a beautiful Japanese style home
Mm-hmm.
in Costa Rica. Who designed it for you? Was it your idea or someone else?
Yeah, I bought the plans in the year 2000 from a place called haikuhouses.com. And I did a whole bunch of research for, what do you call it, prefabbed houses. I looked
Mhm.
at round houses from a company in North Carolina, Topsider, and another company somewhere in North Carolina. They make kind of cool houses. But I settled on this one called Haiku Houses. They build all the parts for you. They ship them. They put them on a truck. They number everything, and they ship them to your destination. You assemble it. I didn't want to do that here, so all I wanted was the plans. There's no way I'm shipping a bunch of lumber from America to here. It's going to rot, and cost a lot. You have to pay taxes. So I just bought the plants, and we used local materials and local labor here.
Beautiful.
So we built the house using concrete and steel with a
Uh-huh.
wood facade. So we've got teak wood on the outside and Guanacaste wood for the roof. And the rest is mostly concrete and steel with
Very
some
good.
Tyvek or fiberglass ceilings and laminated wood for some floors that I bought. But yeah, it's pretty good.
How did you find the process of zoning and permitting?
Oh yeah, that was uh, I got that was kind of out of my control for a while. I mostly left that to the builder, and he was really frustrated. He had to go to the municipality seven
Right.
times to
Right.
get all that stuff. They kept asking him for papers, and he would supply them, and then they would ask him for the same thing again, or something would expire. Or just what a horrible nightmare that I got shielded from. So I didn't really have to do that, but he said the first thing is you have to have water supply for mixing concrete and all that. So the water's number one important. Got to make sure that I don't remember everything, but water and rights and make sure it's buildable and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, you have to have road access. You need
Right.
road access. Okay, make sure you're not landlocked, and I was not.
Maybe I'll just say for the viewers that Playa Lagarto is a community and a development. So they build the roads,
Mhm.
right? There's power to the property, and you use your own well, or do you use a well from the community?
Community well. There's about I think there's two wells but and they pump it up into water tanks, and then the water tanks are gravity fed to all the houses around
Do
here.
all
So
the lots right now, or some of the lots have road access, power, and water available?
I think they all do now. When I started, I didn't have any power. We had to use solar panels or generators. It was
Yes.
horrible. So my poor builder, he spent a lot of money on gasoline for the generator and all that.
Right.
And we eventually got power poles installed, and then about 2 months later, wires got installed on it, and then 2 months later after that, the wires got hooked up, and then 2 months after that, we were supposed to get the connection from the wires to the house, but we bribed the guy $200 to do it when he was in the area, so he did it. So yeah, uh, and
Very
then
good.
we got lights installed on some of the poles. So,
That's good.
but now there's poles almost well in this Playa Lagarto thing. Section G does not have power yet or water. They only have roads. So
Because that's the newest one.
yeah, there's A B C. It goes A B C up to G.
Right.
A is was done first years ago. I'm in C. C is completely. There's still some lots for sale in C. D is a smaller one. D I think has D I think E and but D definitely has power and water. E I'm not sure about. F I'm not sure about. But G just only has roads. G is the big one.
Playa Lagarto, where you live, it's got the large homes like you built on a large lot, and there's a smaller lot, and there's these community lots.
Mhm.
Perhaps you could tell people a bit about the differences of
Yeah.
those, and I'll try to find some pictures.
Yeah. When they first started, they had these little villas. They're called villas.
Right.
They're like Tico-sized houses.
These
They're
ones.
one or two bedrooms. They're kind of clustered together. They're clustered around two pools. There's a restaurant there too. Security guard has a gate that, or a fence or a chain to the security there. So that's the villas. They're okay. They're not bad. Then there's section A, which is I think every lot is about 1.5 acres. They're all
These are the
different shapes
villas,
and
right? Hold
let me
on. Let
see.
me. Oh, sorry. Uh, Let me show it.
Yeah, that's a villa. Yeah, that's a
These
villa
are the
in one of the
villas, right?
pools. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And are these villas managed by the company or people buy them? How does it work? You know?
They're both.
They're
Yeah,
both?
some are. I don't know the percentage, but some are privately owned and some are managed by the, by the whole community.
And each of these clusters will have a pool, right?
Yeah, they share that pool. There's two pools. You're
Right.
looking at one. That one that you're showing is it's really one pool, but it looks like it's two. It's
Yeah.
got a waterfall in it.
Right. Right.
There's
Right.
another one that's a little bigger.
Let me see if I can find some others. I believe that will be the restaurant here.
Yep, that's a restaurant. It's
You
pretty
li-
good.
do you eat there?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Do you like the restaurant?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah,
Great.
they had a change of management recently. They used to have a guy named Wally running it. Now they have a local person running it, and
And this
so
is
it's more local food.
done by the beach, right? I've been there, but it was a while ago, and there was a little surf shack and a
Uh,
restaurant down by the beach, right?
that's Marbella. That's the
Marbella.
Tiki Hut. That's the Tiki Hut in Marbella. It's a
Right.
pretty good restaurant. It's actually pretty good. They get great hamburgers and fries, and it's about 7 kilometers south of here.
The beach below Lagarto. Lagarto sits on the hill.
Yeah.
How do you for people who don't know, how do you access it? How do you get there?
There's roughly a 1 mile road. It's a dirt road, straight. Uh, and yeah, I mean,
Is Is there any
There might be
transportation?
I think there's plans of a second road being built. So from the G lots, like a shortcut.
Right. Is there any transportation to the beach? Like if someone is older or can't walk,
Mm, no, not
just
really.
just
No,
get in a
not really.
car.
Yeah, you don't need a 4x4, but it's kind of highly recommended.
Right.
Because if you're at lots, if you're in section C, D, or E, you have to go through two creeks, two
Right.
small creeks. Water's roughly this deep sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's about maybe I don't know this wide, I guess. So you got to go through some water, but it's not that bad.
That's difficult. It happened to me one of my trips, Costa Rica, that I went down by the GPS. I hit the water, like, you gotta go back.
Yeah, really. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. One time I used to have a geo. Okay, I had a geo tracker, and then I had a Jeep. Now I have a Suzuki Jimny, which is great. I love the Suzuki Jimny. Let me show you.
Okay.
Let me show you.
I'll max your window so we can see it.
Yeah, look
Hold on.
there. That's my little Suzuki. I park it indoors. There's my little Suzuki Jimny. It's a 4x4.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That
Beautiful.
thing's great. It's not
That thing
fast.
goes
It's not
anywhere.
fast. Yeah, it's not very fast, and it's not super powerful, but it works. And
That's all you need.
it was $30,000 US,
Hmm.
and they have a 4-door version coming out for an extra 5,000. And yeah, so when I had my geo tracker, I went through one of the creeks, and the water was so deep that the water actually went over the hood. So, but it didn't stall, so I was lucky it didn't. I made it through the week. But for now, the creeks are so yeah, some of them are dry, so
Good enough.
no big deal.
What kind of development and houses do you see people building?
In the villas, they're all moderately the same. They all have red roofs,
Hmm.
and it's sort of like the clay roof, I think you call it. Yeah, like that,
Yeah.
like you're showing.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
villa houses are pretty much just identical. But in the other lots, people have gone. Yeah, you can build whatever you want, really. There's a few rules. They say you can't build more than 9 meters tall, and I think you can't use more than 18% of your property for structures. I think that's one
But
rule.
that's huge. That'll give you
Yeah, yeah,
10,000 square feet
yeah,
for a lot like your
yeah,
size.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think my house is something like 6,000 square feet, so I went kind of crazy.
Oh, I didn't
And
realize it.
then
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's a mansion.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I should show you. I show you. I have like this. This is the lower level of my house. It's 100 feet long.
Hold on, let me maximize
So
your window. So, 1 second. Let me just maximize it here.
while you're doing
Okay.
that, I'll show you.
Hmm.
This is the haiku house. I'll just put it in the light. Actually, if I go like this, you can see the light a little better. Whoops,
Beautiful.
like this. Okay. So it's a Japanese farmhouse. So I have this on top. This is the top. This is what you see from the road. But
Right.
on the foundation, I have this 100 foot long lower level. That's
Right.
half of it there, and the other
Right.
half is over here.
Amazing.
And then on the west side, I face the ocean. So there's the ocean out
Wow.
there. There's my backyard, and I'll put a pool in there. And my neighbor has a golf course in his back of his yard. He's got like a giant. He's got a mini putt thing he's building. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, he likes golf, so he's got his own mini putt golf course being built. And so yeah, this is my house.
Beautiful.
Uh,
Yeah, you
the
got a
top.
second story.
Yeah, the second story is up these stairs. I can show you a little bit about that. And I also have a lookout tower, like my office space.
You do.
Yeah, let me just show you some of this. This is the top. This is the Japanese part.
Beautiful.
So I've got a spiral staircase and kitchen over here. And I got a Guanacaste wood ceiling and a loft
Beautiful.
with a big skylight
Beautiful.
up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And maybe I can show outside a little bit. I can show my lookout tower a little bit. Windy though.
Please.
There's my lookout tower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's my office space.
Fantastic.
Hopefully you can
And
hear me because it's windy.
I do, I do. And you see the water from there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Which way is the ocean now?
It'd be through this one. It'd be west.
And now
So
will be
yeah.
west. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for the tour. How long did it take you to build the house, Greg?
It took about a year and 3 months, I think. It took long because just a lot of distractions,
Uh
and
huh.
there was no power at the beginning, so we had to use solar panels and
Right.
generators for everything. Close the windows so it's less windy. And
Thank you.
it was a bit of a labor problem too. One of the managers had left for a different project, and there's a forest fire came through, so that uh, threw a monkey wrench in the plans for about 3 or 4 days. We had to go do some firefighting, but
Right. Oh, good.
yeah, it took about a year and a bit.
A lot of people ask me, maybe you can comment on that. The first thing they always ask me, like, how much does it cost to build? And then he asks you, like, um, and I know a lot of people build in Costa Rica, but they want to hear it from a local. You're a local now. How much does it cost to build? And is the process more or less straightforward with the permits and the zoning, and they're not going to trick you or anything like that?
Uh, I was told that the average price is $85 a square foot. Uh, but I don't. That's probably old, and I
Yeah,
think I'm an exception. I'm an exception because the lower level of my house is it's mostly empty space. At least it
right.
was at the beginning.
So it's
So
cheaper to build just floor space.
yeah, right,
Right,
yeah, and it's really hard to. I don't know. What I did was I went to my builder and I asked him how much would you. Okay, so I made a spreadsheet in Google Documents and I listed about 40 things. Okay, you got to
right,
get permits, you got to dig, you got to build walls, you
right,
got to build all the windows. I wanted sliding doors and I wanted a fence. And I asked him, tell me how much all this stuff is going to cost. And he put down prices, and then I would
right,
say, okay. And then I just used Excel or a spreadsheet. I just added it all up, and that's how we calculated how much he was going to, charge me to build the house.
right.
And,
Yeah,
that's how we calculated the 40%. So I sent him 40% of our estimate.
right.
He says he lost money building this house. And
Hmm.
maybe it's true because it took him longer, and I did a couple changes along the way called change orders, which he didn't really charge me for. So uh, and he was excited to build the thing and he wanted to finish it. So lucky, I was really lucky. Like some people, they hire a builder and they never see their money again. Some people, the builder will start and then they'll give up, and then someone else will have to finish it. But my guy stuck through right to the end, and he's happy. And he seems to care about me too. He went to the bank with me and he set up a bank account, and he hooked me up with a couple of girls to get me a girlfriend and all that stuff. And he took me to some restaurants, and I met his family and his friends, and we go partying sometimes. So I was
Yeah.
lucky. I'm a lucky guy.
He
So
seemed a good guy. I watched the interview of you and he seemed like a good guy.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
here today. Yeah, he
yeah,
was here. He's doing little projects for other houses in the area, like pergola for somebody and a kitchen for someone else.
right.
Yeah. So it seems like a good, yeah.
But I
I'm,
mean, I don't want to scare anyone. I mean, obviously, people have various experiences. But would you say overall, because there are quite a few houses in Playa Lagarto, people still go there and build there. So obviously, the overall experience of people is positive, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, overall, yeah, I think so. Well, the negative people are probably left, so I don't think the negative. I don't know any really negative people, but I know that my neighbor, he's got some cracks in his walls that the builder of my house went over and fixed.
Mm,
Okay, so someone built my neighbor's house and left, and now he's got cracks that my builder had to go fix.
okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't
What
know
would
what to
you
say
right?
about that. Other,
What would you say would be like a couple points or tips for someone who wants to come to Playa Lagarto and find a lot and build a house? What would you
mm,
tell them, like if you just met them, like the first few things they should be aware of? Like me, I
oh,
want to come down and build a house.
yeah, I think it's a lifestyle thing, really. Like, what do you want to do with your life? Where are you in your life? I think.
Right.
Are you a party animal? Do you want to
Yeah.
relax, and do you want to be surrounded by English people or Spanish people?
Right.
And how often do you go for food, or I mean, for entertainment? That's what I meant.
Hmm.
And do you like? Do you like the beach or do you like the mountains? And do you care about Costa Rica culture or do you want to, is it oh yeah, do you want to be here year round or not? That kind of thing.
Right.
Do you like the summer? I mean, the wet season or the dry season? You got to take all that stuff into account. And, and even if you're wrong, even if you pick the wrong place, it's still pretty good here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want
Yeah.
to oversell it or anything, but my builder told me that I was one of the most adapted. He said I did a great job at adapting to the challenges here.
Right.
The only trouble I had was with customs. I tried to bring a bunch of stuff through the airport once, and customs kind of grabbed it and confiscated it, and then they charged me a whole bunch of taxes on it, and that was very depressing and sad, and
Yeah.
not very. I was not a very happy person at that time. Other
Right.
than that, I've been okay. I was able to buy a car without too much difficulty. I got a bank account okay. I go back to working on the immigration thing.
Hmm.
It's taking long, but I don't really care. My health has been okay. Um, there's bugs, there's scorpions, and there's spiders, and there's little wormy things that walk around. There's these worms with legs.
Right.
They're called Gasca-
Uh-huh.
Gascapos or something like that. Oh, and these birds that squeal. There's these doves. They're called pujegos that kind of popular here. Some people call them suicide birds because they just sit in the road until the very last minute they fly out.
Right.
So they squeal all night long sometimes. And
Do you get the black monkeys there?
yeah, howler
You do.
monkeys.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
got
yeah.
this one woman. Yeah, I got this one woman named Beverly who she's got bridges in her trees so that the monkeys can go from tree to tree, and she feeds them and that kind of thing. So she's got a lot of monkeys, but
That's amazing.
I haven't seen very many. I don't really have anything for them, so they don't care about me much.
Do you go often to, I guess Tamarindo would be the nearest town, right? Do you go
There's a
there often or other towns?
Timor's the nearest big town. Okay, it's the closest town is called Florida, just like the state of Florida, but it's called I think they say Florida or La Florida.
Let me see if I
That's
can
it's like
map it.
7 kilometers. Yeah, there's 7 kilometers east of here, and I go there for groceries, for milk and bread. Sometimes they're out of stock though, so it seems like you have to go on Wednesdays. They seem to have a good stock on
Right.
Wednesdays. Yeah, and
Uh,
Marbella. Oh yeah, Marbella. The town of Lagarto by the beach is good for fish. Lagarto's a
right.
fishing town. A bunch
Right.
of fishermen live here.
The fishing
So if you
village.
want
Yeah.
fish, yeah, tilapia, um, lobster, some other white fishes. You're not going to find salmon here. You'll find tuna, but you won't find salmon.
Right. Right. Right.
There's a tilapia farm, like a fish farm, on the way to Santa Cruz. You drive by, you can see pools of fish. Oh,
I'm
I
not.
used to
I'm
go.
big not a tilapia, but the other ones, yes.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
creek not far from, just like walking distance down the hill. I used to go with my builders, and we used to grab shrimp in the river at night. So you walk around. Yeah, yeah. You need a flashlight, and you walk really slowly, and you can see them swimming in the creek. And if you have a pole, like, he would have a pole with a couple nails on it, and you would just like stab them, and that's how you catch them.
That's it.
So yeah, it's amazing. They're big shrimp too. Some of them anyway. So right now, the creek is a little dry. There's probably not any.
How,
Yeah.
thank you. How about like cost of living? Like go have a meal at the restaurant or something like that. A lot of people ask.
Uh, well, the restaurant built into Lagarto, it's cheap. Okay, it's pretty good. The selection used to be really good, but now it's a little more limited. I'd say $10 at most will give you like you know a
A
beer
meal?
and some burritos and some tacos and stuff. Yeah, $10 is usually fine. There's lots of local restaurants. They're called sodas.
Uh huh.
That's the name for family restaurant. It's called a soda. It's not like don't think of pop cans or don't think of Coca Cola or anything. It's called a soda. Um, but there
And
are
what would
other
you get there? Like rice, beans, some meat,
yeah
fried
yeah pretty typical
plantain.
yeah plantains and all that rices and meats and not a whole lot of pork but a fair bit of chicken and gallo pinto is pretty popular.
Hmm.
I don't really go there too often. I usually, uh, I don't. I usually stick. I stick with the. I don't know. I got some bad habits I need to break. I usually go. I go to Subway and I buy 5 sandwiches and bring them home and stick them in the freezer, or I'll go get a Pizza Hut or something.
Right.
Or we'll go to Price Mart, which is just like Costco, and I'll
Right.
grab a bunch of groceries from there and put them in a giant freezer, and that way I don't have to go anywhere for a week. So, but I got a girlfriend now that I met. She's local. She takes me to all these great restaurants. She makes the most incredible food for me, and she's teaching me how to make everything. So I have avocado with lemon and tomato in it, and she made this incredible chicken soup with like tomato soup with chicken in it, and it had cheese on it and potatoes. And, amazing. So so oh yeah, but you know what? So I thought I'm going to pay her back. I'm going to take her out for sushi. So we found a sushi restaurant in Nicoya, but sushi here is not all that great. So the
Right.
Costa Rica people don't really know how to make sushi. So
Ah,
either that, or the ingredients were not very fresh. I mean, the rice was not very fresh, and yeah, not that great, and it was expensive. So sushi here, maybe in San Jose, probably good. They've got Olive Garden in San Jose.
yes.
They got Johnny Rockets, and they got Pizza Hut everywhere. They got KFC and Burger King and McDonald's and all that stuff. They even have what do you call it? Crispy. They got Krispy Kreme donuts in San Jose.
Everything.
No In and Out Burger though. I wish they had that. They don't. They don't have
Right.
Harvey's. They don't have Harvey's. I think they might have a Wendy's somewhere. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I've had the best ceviche of my life in Nicaragua, not too far, southern Nicaragua, just
Hmm.
north of Costa Rica, at the fish market, and like the big guy with the apron, chopping up the tunas, and he gave me a little cup. It was 50 or 80, whatever it was, colones or cordobas. I thought I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's good.
die. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Wow. Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
My
phenomenal.
girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend says Nicaragua has a better coffee than Costa Rica. So, so there you go. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't remember, but yeah, it was good.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want to ask you a little bit, if you can tell us what we see here, this
That's the villas.
cluster.
Okay, on the left, at the bottom, in the left, in the center, you've got that one red house all by itself. That's the restaurant. Okay,
This
and then
large
in the
one
middle,
here. This
y-
one.
yeah,
This thing.
yeah, that thing, that's the restaurant.
Right.
Yep, yep. And
And these are
right,
the two pools.
uh-huh, yep,
So
the
are
two
these
pools.
owned by people, or are these owned by the company that started this project?
Uh, like I don't know the percentage of what's private or not, but
Uh-huh.
I'd say probably 70% are private. I guess
Right.
some are empty and some are for sale.
Right.
I know one has a for sale sign on it
And these are
or a
the
phone number.
small, right, these are the small villas, and then there's individual villas, houses like yours, which really
Mm-hmm.
have like something like this, right? Like this
Yeah,
one
yeah,
here. So that
yeah.
would be like independent owner, yeah?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So actually, you know what? The guy who built this whole development, he does own maybe two houses, like two normal-looking houses in A
Right,
section that he
right.
rents out.
Yeah, it's a giant development. I mean, there's so much,
Yeah.
and I think what I like, I mean, obviously I was there, and what I like, it's very tranquil. It's very quiet. I mean, look at this thing here,
Mhm.
super
Yeah.
tranquilo.
It's kind of a good investment too, because when they finish the roads, when they finish Highway 60, when they pave it, this is going to be a lot more accessible.
Let
Right
me go
now,
back. Let me go back to
yes, yes, yes.
160, right? This one.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, I think the whole coast, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, all getting paved, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's half paved now, so it's paved
Yeah,
in sections.
yeah,
It's pretty
yeah, yeah.
similar to Highway 1 in the US. You know Highway 1 in the US where it goes all the way from Seattle down to San Diego?
Yes, I do.
So, yeah. So, it's pretty, it's half paved. It's getting there. So, things are getting better.
Right.
People always say, oh, the world's kind of falling to pieces and all that. No, it's not. The world's not
It's not.
falling to pieces.
It's
It's getting
fine.
better, right?
Yes. Very good.
As
Thank you,
people,
Greg.
yeah, so people like myself, we come here, we pay taxes that goes towards roads. So, and we get some say. I can't vote in an election or anything like
Right.
that, but when I pay my taxes, I can go and say, "Can you please pay the roads a little more, or a little more often?" And they will.
Amazing.
And my
Any
girlfriend,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and my girlfriend's a notary, so she knows a lot of people. She knows like all the people in the government too, so she can push a little bit too. So yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Any yeah, and I'll mention that I'm also looking to build in the development, also working with some people who are buying, selling in the development. Any any wise words of advice for anyone that is curious about Playa Lagarto or living in Costa Rica, from obviously from Canada or anywhere really?
Well, in my case, I jumped in and I got to a point where I didn't want to stop. I was at a point where I put in too much money. I can't stop now. I got to keep going.
Right,
And I think I was lucky that I found a good builder, and I was lucky that I found a nice lot. Um, I think you just need a little bit of luck and some savings and a goal and a vision. You need your vision, okay? Be clear what you tell your builder. Get them excited, or her. There's some female builders here too. Get them excited,
yeah,
and they will build it. And sometimes you gotta watch them, because sometimes they'll make a mistake and they'll go off in a different tangent. Like my
right.
builder did make two mistakes. He put a wall in the wrong spot, and he had the house. He had this corner, this round corner. He had it in the wrong corner. So, so you got to watch him and just yeah, come down, look at it. There are places to rent, and there's music festivals to go to. There's busy times of the year, and right now during let's see, from November to April, it's kind of the busy season, so it's a little harder to find a rental car and that kind of thing.
Right.
But the rainy season is a little slower. It's not rainy all day. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
don't be thinking you're going to need an umbrella and and you're going to need like giant boots and all that. No, you don't. Only maybe twice out of the year it might rain all day long, and even if it
Right.
does, it's not going to be that.
It just
You're not going to
comes
be stuck.
down and then it stops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to be
Okay.
stuck. Maybe October, it might be. The rivers might be high,
Yeah.
but it's not that bad. It's actually good. It's actually refreshing. So,
Yeah, in 35
uh,
degrees.
the only other advice I would give would be to just be clear what you want to do and have some patience. I think
Yeah.
when I when I went to the municipality to get my immigration papers, uh, I was able to get done in 2 days what my builder couldn't get done in 3 weeks, because I
Right.
went there with some stress on my face and some pleading, saying, "Please, I just need this paperwork to get my thing." And I got the WhatsApp phone number of the guy who works there,
Right.
and I was clear as to what I needed. And people are nice when you show that you're learning a little Spanish. Oh yeah, learning some Spanish. I got a book. I got a dictionary that it's half English and half Spanish, and it's a picture book. It's almost like a Sesame Street book, where it has all kinds of pictures and stuff. I'm good with nouns, so um, I can't put a full sentence together sometimes, but some Spanish, it's very important. My girlfriend tells me it's very important. She knows a lot of people that have been scammed by not knowing Spanish. So because
It's a
she's a
fun
notary.
language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's all right.
What if you're not detailed oriented as Greg? Could you hire someone to be like your construction manager to be the liaison between yourself and the builder, especially if you're in Canada? Does that exist? I mean, it does in Canada, obviously.
Well, maybe. I know a guy in Edmonton who wants to build a house down the road. He's given his plans to the builder, and but he's in a hospital, can't come and see. So he's asked me to be like a liaison to try and make
Right.
sure that the builder does what he wants, or does the right thing. So, and he also wants me to help him buy a car and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess there's people around. it's hard to trust, I guess. For
Well,
example, yeah, there's some scammers too. Like I bought a motorcycle from a guy, and it didn't have a license plate on the back. So I thought, all right, well, it's fine. He'll get it for me. But he couldn't get it for me. Um, and if you go driving around on a motorcycle without a license plate, the transit police will take the motorcycle away from you.
I see.
Okay? So he's been promising and promising. I'll get to the plate and get to the plate. But now, like it's been, we found out that the plates were taken away because somebody, like he loaned it to somebody who was riding without a helmet, and they gave him a fine, and because they're not paying the fines, they took the plates away, and so I got this. I have a motorcycle now that I can't drive.
Right.
So 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 there's some kind of scammers and things like that. When you buy a car, you got to make sure you have to go through a lawyer to do transfers and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it seems like you need lawyers for almost everything here.
Well,
For almost everything legal. Right? Get a lawyer or a notary or a local or someone you trust to do a once over of your paperwork and that kind of thing. And sometimes paperwork doesn't really have much weight. It's the digital version in the computer systems of the municipality that counts.
right.
Okay, so paperwork can go out of date and expire and all that stuff. This is a good advice from my notary girlfriend. She says, "Don't you got all these books and all that stuff?" But it's no, I want. She goes and looks on computer systems and checks. Oh, this is really good. Like, wow.
Right.
You have to have luck, and you have to have a good outlook. I think really to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
advice I can really say.
What you put in, you get out.
Yeah, maybe it's a karma thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's okay.
I get it.
People are pretty open. I mean, you can wear whatever you want. There's no one's gonna hassle you much. There's crime, but it would be like a petty crime. Like you would leave. Like one neighbor has he got some gardening equipment stolen because it left it outside and things like that. I've been pretty lucky. I don't think I've had anything stolen, but
Right.
uh,
Very good.
I think there are. Oh, someone in Hunkial had their house broken into at night when they were sleeping, and they tracked their computers the day afterward, and they found that their computers were already in Nicaragua.
Oh,
So yeah, so there's crime, but take reasonable precautions, and you should be okay.
very good.
And that's around, and the police are not super useful, but if they capture somebody and if they're unable to do anything about it, they will tell you when the person's getting released. So you can do the person. You can do street justice on them.
I guess that's really the nature of living in communities like that. People have to come together and kind of work together to make it happen. And that's, I mean, I think your example is the best. You came with nothing, you didn't know anything, and there you are. You got a beautiful home, a girlfriend, excellent developer. You're helping others. Fantastic.
Yeah, we got a WhatsApp group of the whole community, the whole Playa Lagarto thing. So if there's anything suspicious, we put a message on there saying, "Hey, there's a weird guy walking around, or there's cows in my yard, or there's a water leak, or there's fire, or something like." So we use this WhatsApp group just for that, just for emergencies. We call it uh, the neighborhood watch group or something like that. We've got one for just blabbering nonsense of low quality, not low quality, but stuff like anybody going to town, I need a ride to the airport. We got a WhatsApp group for that kind of conversations, and we got a WhatsApp group for important stuff like there's a fire happening, or I don't feel safe at home right now, or something like that. So it's pretty good.
Thank you very,
Internet,
very much,
yeah.
Greg.
Yep. Internet access, there's got three options. You've got WiMAX, which is been around a while. I use another one called Infinity, and we have Starlink now. And the electric company is going to bring fiber optic to Playa Lagarto if 25 people agree to subscribe.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. But we only have 5 people right now that want that. So because of Starlink, we don't really need fiber optic anymore. So,
Right. But each house will have to get their own subscription.
yep, yep,
Are the
yeah.
prices the same for Starlink in Costa Rica as they're in Canada? Do you know?
No, they're cheaper. They're
They're
cheaper. The
cheaper.
equipment is cheaper. It's roughly 40% cheaper, I think, than the
Mm,
US thing, and the monthly subscription is cheaper too. I can't
makes
remember
sense.
the price though. I
Makes
was
sense.
on the list for a long time to get it, but when it finally became available, I realized that I got a microwave relay thing to Marbella 7 kilometers. It's fast enough. No, it's good enough. No, it's good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it for here. I'll
Amazing.
keep it. And, but if you go to Nicoya, they got fiber optic. Uh, Fiber optic from Nicoya, like 76 megabits per second speed, up downloading. Like holy cow, that's fast. In Nicoya.
Yeah, very good.
There's an underground fiber cable that goes to Miami. So Miami's the big hub. So there's
Right.
a big cable that goes from Miami to Costa Rica. That's how it is. And there's some others too, I guess.
Greg, thank you so much. That was really eye-opening. I have to tell you, like I didn't know any of the things you spoke of,
Yeah,
and I feel a lot more comfortable uh,
yeah,
just by you
yeah.
sharing all this.
So for Canadians, yeah, you can get 2% milk, no problem. That's all you can get. You can't get 1% milk. I don't think that I haven't seen 1% milk, but I think you can get it in Price Mart or something.
Right.
You can't get Tim Hortons. You can't get Premium Plus crackers, but you get pretty close.
No,
No
Tim,
bagels.
that's it.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any bagel stores.
Gotta make your own.
You got bacon and eggs are mostly brown,
Right.
and you don't put them in the refrigerator. Most people keep
Right.
their eggs out. I don't know. They don't
Yeah.
put them in the fridge.
You don't
I don't
need
know
to.
why, but I do anyway.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you got tons of bread. You got artisanal bread. You've got white bread, brown bread, grains, whole grain bread. You've got pineapples are cheap. Watermelons are cheap. Sandia is like a crazy watermelon that's a little spicier.
Yeah.
You've got sangria, different from sandia. You've got wines. You can get,
Avocados.
yeah, they're cheap. Yeah. Oh, and mangoes.
Yeah.
Certain time of the year. Certain time of the year, they're like scattered all over the ground. You can't
Right.
go for anywhere without stepping on a mango. And that's going to come up soon. Mangoes.
Are there any fruit trees on the property, yours or in the area?
Yeah, mangoes. There's mangoes and there's berries. Some kind of weird berries. I don't know what kind they are, but they're yellow and birds eat them all the time. And monkeys.
Right.
I haven't seen bananas too often. Coconuts are, yeah, they look great, but I don't see many. Along the beach, they're everywhere, but I don't really see many around here.
Yeah.
They like growing in sand.
Right.
Palm trees, yes. Bamboo trees I see fairly often, but they're messy. They leave a lot of splinters around.
Right.
And there's another bush called the limoncello, I think it's called. It's like a spiny. It's like a it's like a hedge. Good for hedges or for live fences, and they have spines and thorns on them. So it's good for like people line their properties with limoncello. Very green and they grow fast and thick. So
Very good.
apples, there's no apple trees. It's too hot for that. But
Right.
maybe in the mountains there might be some apple trees. And,
Right. 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 That's all good.
yes.
Beautiful. Thank you very, very much for opening my eyes and helping everyone.
It's fairly normal to go from yeah, going from Canada to here has been moderately painless.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm surrounded by a bunch of Canadians here, and
Yeah.
Tamarindo's everybody's more or less English, and you just learn enough Spanish to get by.
Good to
And you'll
go.
learn that the gas stations are a little far away, so you might want to have a spare tank
Right.
gas can
Right.
because they're kind of far.
Right.
You got to go 20 kilometers for a gas can.
Yeah.
And have patience at the banks. Okay, don't be going in a bank and going up to a teller and expecting your money right away. You have to just wait in line. You got to wait in line, and you got to get a security check, and you can't wear a hat in a bank. And the security guard he'll make you take your hats off. And what else? Oh yeah, if a disabled person or a pregnant woman comes in, they get put in first of line, so you get pushed back every time that happens. So women bring babies into the bank, so they get in front of the line all the time. So
Good.
women are respected here much more than in Canada. They get
That's good.
treatment.
Safer.
Families are very tight here. Families are bigger here.
Right.
People call each other more often. Okay? People don't stay in their houses and play Xboxes all day. They go out and mingle and they play soccer fields. They run around and eat good and chat and laugh. So it's a better lifestyle in Canada, I think.
Good.
I don't know
Good.
about better. I don't know about better, but different. Let's just say different. It's different
Right.
in Canada,
Right.
but it's not. I'm adjusted. It didn't take long for me to adjust. Okay, so I don't know what else to say, but
Thank you
um,
so much.
this was a fun interview. I had fun time. So
Me too. Thank you very much. That was priceless. I'll talk to you soon, Greg.
okay, all right, ciao.
Bye bye.